Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of quite a few for Radical Rewind Summer Special Volume 3. In this episode, we're going to have a brief introduction to what will be VaporNet98. So, VaporNet98, as you could probably tell by the name, is a new volume of Radical Rewind's Summer Special side series that introduces quite a few new elements. For one, I'm expanding beyond the scope of just live streaming, and this is something that I've been thinking about ever since the next generation back earlier this year. This was also something that I wanted to do with Flashback 90X, although that was not as long a series as I would have hoped because I had other things I had to do. But bear in mind that what I'm about to talk about is something that won't be immediately happening right away, but it will be happening in the near future over the next few months. Starting off, so in terms of the overall plot of VaporNet98, my Radical Earth alter ego, I don't mean this as like a superhero or anything, it's just someone within the Radical Earth universe who is basically just my twin counterpart, I guess. You might know him as Rex Calvin. Don't worry, he will be making a return. This is just the owner of this actual YouTube channel talking, talking about everything. But in the Radical Earth universe, Rex Calvin sorry. Kind of a slow day today. But essentially, Rex Calvin has gotten exclusive access to an early beta of VaporNet98, which this volume is named after. VaporNet98 is tied to a special new product from Megasoft Enterprises, which is a fiction. Can I please speak? I already have thought about what I'm about to say. Anyway, so, the general gist is Megasoft Enterprises, which, what I was trying to say is a fictional company that is named after Microsoft, but not entirely related to it, has made a new product after several years of long-winded development called Cyberscape. Originally, Cyberscape was nothing more than a, VR system. Think of it sort of like a Meta Quest on steroids. However, this finalized version is something completely different, utilizing technology that's never been seen before in our world, where a user of the Cyberscape system wears a special suit called the Cybersuit, and it allows them to be digitally whisked away into what's called a virtual experience. This is the replacement for a traditional operating system, with VaporNet98 being one of them. VaporNet98 itself is essentially a low-poly inspired virtual experience that is a interconnected network of locales that people can go to, visit, and stuff. Think of it sort of like, PlayStation Home or Second Life or something like that, with an aesthetic that is loosely based on low-poly aesthetics that you would see during the late 90s. However, the VaporNet name comes from the fact that the whole idea is that in our world, something like that would not exist in that specific time period. The 98 is in reference to the overall aesthetic being inspired by the late 90s, typically, not typically, but primarily, Windows 98, because, that was one of the most popular operating systems at the time, back in the late 90s. However, the whole VaporNet part is loosely based on Vaporwave, which is an aesthetic centered around, vaporware, which, if I look it up real quick, vaporware. So, vaporware and vaporwave. So, vaporware, in definition, means software or hardware that has been advertised but not yet available to buy, either because it's only a concept or is still being written or designed. In this case, VaporNet is inspired by that very thing. It is, in our world, seen as something more like nothing more than conceptual, but in the Radical Earth universe, it already is a thing, albeit right now it's in testing and the full release is going to be later this year. However, this is, where the other vapor part comes in. Vaporwave. So, yeah, Vaporwave is another inspiration for VaporNet. However, the net part comes from the fact that, like I said before, it is an interconnected network of virtual locations that a user can go to while inside of the Cyberscape network. So, in other words, think of it sort of like, you know how in the movie Tron and Tron Legacy, the main protagonist gets whisked away into a digital world? Think of it like that, only without the light cycles and the, identity discs and all that stuff. No, instead it's essentially a social hub, but it is also the operating system that one can use. The thing about Cyberscape, though, is that it doesn't use just one. It can store as many as 12 different operating systems at the very moment, with VaporNet being one of them, and this is because the developers, not VaporTech, VaporSoft, which, yeah, I know, the name's a little on the nose. It's keeping in theme with the whole vaporwave aesthetic. But that's not where the aesthetics end with VaporNet98. VaporNet98 has a wide variety of different, aesthetics that one can see within the virtual world that they can explore, such as liminal spaces and its associated aesthetics, and, other stuff like synthwave, pixelate, or, not pixel, bleh. Basically, think of it like everywhere you go in VaporNet is distinctly different because it has its own areas, which they call zones. So we have vapor space, which is the normal zone that, no, not normal, but it's the zone that is the first place that people will go to after completing the guidance tutorial. And, obviously that would mean that, hey, guess what? You're being taught how to interact within VaporNet98, and then after you're done with all that, you'll actually be able to interact with others and stuff. It also has its own economy, which, no, it's not cryptocurrency, screw that. It's its own virtual economy that you can obtain just by, just doing menial tasks like playing mini games or, exploring, finding hidden goodies, stuff like that, or you could even have a sustainable job within VaporNet and all this other stuff. I should say, by the way, that all of this stuff that I'm talking about is within an alternate universe. So it doesn't exist in the real world. It's only within the Radical Earth universe, and to that extent, I've been steadily building a fandom about it. So, yeah. With that being said, though, that'll about cover pretty much everything there is to talk about with VaporNet98. But that's not where it ends. Like I said earlier, VaporNet98 itself isn't just going to be live streams, it's also going to be some other stuff. So, the next time I do a stream, I'm actually going to be doing a special little build project in Bricklink. I think you'll like it. But with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I know this was a very short stream in comparison to yesterday's stream, which I have since deleted. Partially because, can I be honest, I kind of enjoyed that event yesterday, but it was kind of disappointing, you know? Like, and I'm not saying that because the stuff that I wanted wasn't there. It's just, it got really boring really fast. So yeah, I was still applauding and all that stuff, but it just got draining after a while. But, yeah. The other reason why I deleted it is because of the fact that, and I'm not upset about this by any means, because I knew this was going to happen one way or another, but stream got copyright claimed, and it was blocked in a few countries. Luckily, America wasn't one of them. But that's the other reason, and I also deleted my coverage of the PlayStation showcase, because, you know, yeah. Anyway, with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.